the quiet collapse of an extrovert. When people think about extroverts, they usually imagine confident, laughter, all the energy in the world, and natural connection. The person who lights up the room, the person that gets everything going, always has energy, seems to have the perfect life, has every trait. They're able to open people up by opening themselves up, able to make you say things you never thought you'd be able to say to someone else. But what people rarely think about is a psychological cost of constantly being on. At a certain point, many extroverts go from just expressing themselves naturally to playing into the version of themselves, kind of performing the way that many people know them to be. A character, basically. Either always being funny, telling jokes, always being energetic, always being emotionally available. Over time, this role slowly transforms into a character that must constantly be maintained because it becomes their new self, the version of them that people know. Especially if you had a transformation, you were introverted, now you're fully extroverted. It's a different world. And when you go into that, it becomes something people know you to be. You're playing a role, you're playing a character. And this is, you get new friends. You have all these new opportunities in life, but all of this was given to that character. Problem with playing a character for too long is that eventually you forget where the performance ends and where your real identity begins. You lose the boundary. You get lost in the sauce, as some could say. You get caught off track and you forget that there is a switch that is not always on. Because after a while, if you don't flip the switch, it could get broken. It could die out. An extrovert's mind can become an ever-going engine, even in silence. There's pressure to remain entertaining, likable, and emotionally useful. Relaxation becomes difficult because stillness feels unfamiliar. You get anxious. You can't just do nothing. You can't sit down. And that's something that's happened to me a lot in my life, especially now. I can't just stand still. I can't just sit in a room and do nothing in silence. I can't be with a whole bunch of people in silence. My mind goes crazy. I panic inside. I can't do it. And I know there's a lot of people that aren't able to do that. Extroverts get very anxious in moments of silence because there is no audience. There is no conversation. There is no distraction from internal thoughts. And that is one of the biggest hidden struggles of extroverts, being alone. While introverts are often stereotyped as lonely, many extroverts secretly fear isolation far more deeply than introverts could ever understand. Human connection becomes more than enjoyment for extroverts. It becomes emotional regulation. Constant interaction provides stimulation, validation, and escape for extroverts. Without it, anxiety begins to surface. Overthinking becomes louder. Emotional emptiness becomes harder to ignore. Because what a lot of people, some do understand now, but many still don't, is that the loudest person, the happiest person, the most extroverted person is usually the loneliest person. When the noise disappears, extroverts are often left having to confront something they usually spent their whole life trying to avoid themselves. This is where the quiet collapse begins because you have to face the person you tried to run away from. Meaning, that's where the character became. That's where you started. When you become extrovert, you are maximizing and raising the person you are, right? You are becoming a higher, more amplified version of that. Amplified being the word I was looking for earlier, to where this person, this is you, but this is you around people. You're up here. You're up here. When that switches on, you are up here, and it is constantly up here. How long do you think a person could ride the wave of being this high, this energetic, this open, this expressive, this emotionally available to people when on the inside they're down here? This is them. They're all the way down here, but they've been characterizing and expressing it all the way up here. Everyone's grown to love this person. Many people don't even know this person exists. And when you're by yourself, this person doesn't exist. It's this person, because this is you. This is really where the collapse, the quiet collapse begins. And it's not dramatically, it's not publicly, but it's internally within yourself because you're extroverted, right? Everyone sees the amazing moments that you have, the energetic moments you have, but they don't see what's happening inside. Another major part of this collapse comes from people pleasing. Many extroverts unconsciously attach their self-worth to what they can provide for others emotionally. They feel valuable when they can make people laugh, when they could entertain people, when they could show people. The approval of others slowly becomes intertwined with identity itself, my light just. And over time, this creates exhaustion. Like I said earlier, when you are this high all the time, but in reality, your real self is this low. At some time, the plane has to come down. And it's really, really hard to fly when you have no more gas. And sometimes for people, you don't even come back down to where you originally were. You go lower. You go lower. The extrovert begins adapting to every room they enter. Around one group, they become louder. Around another, they become softer. Around certain people, they hide entire emotions just to preserve harmony, which is something I've fallen in depth to, something I've done myself. And I will admit that I've done that myself, where I'll adapt to what I'm around. What do people need, right? What kind of person do these people need around them? That's who I'm going to be, you know? People have asked me, hey, why are you so quiet over here with all these people? But you're this person over here with these people, which is something we all do, not just extroverts. We all adapt our character. But remember, you're adapting around certain people to please what is needed on their side of the table, right? Eventually, they stop asking themselves what they truly feel and instead focus entirely on maintaining comfort for everyone else. The tragedy is that socially skilled people are often the hardest to recognize when they are struggling. Like I said, when you are socially skilled, you know how to hide it. You know how to adapt to groups, and you know how to not show what is actually going on inside of you. An extrovert can be surrounded by friends, constantly texting, laughing loudly, and still feel emotionally disconnected underneath all of it. Like we said before, when you're around people, you can be anything. You can feel like you're anything. But when you're by yourself, the only piece of motivation, the only piece to talk to is your mind. It is you. It is yourself, your inner thoughts. What do your inner thoughts actually say about you, not other people? Because when you're extroverted, you have other people saying how great you are, how amazing you are, how emotionally available you are, how funny you are. But when you're by yourself, what are you saying to yourself? Because they're expected to be the source of energy few people notice when they become running empty. When the gas is low, ironically, many extroverts eventually withdraw from people completely. Not because they suddenly hate human connection, but because they become burnt out for years of emotional extension. Like I said before, when the plane is so high and it runs out of gas, it is going to fall. And it's not going to fall to where it was before. It's going to fall all the way down. It's going to crash and burn. The very thing that once energized extroverts begins to exhaust them. They crave connection while fearing it. They want to be understood while feeling unable to even understand themselves because they can't slow down mentally. The quiet collapse of an extrovert is not simply losing social energy. It is slowly realizing that after years of becoming everything for everyone else, you no longer know who you are when no one else is around.